This is a video I made right after finishing the Tao Te Ching series. And during this time, one thing that has been on my mind a lot lately has been the idea of long-term plans. Now, I want to clarify what I mean by long-term plans. When I talk about long-term plans, I don't mean things like using a budget, saving money for a rainy day, or building a food storage. These are kind of just basic matters of prudence, and we should definitely be doing them. But I am starting to wonder if we do ourselves a disservice when we make very long-term goals of where we want to end up in 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years down the road. Now, I do understand that some goals require this kind of advanced planning, such as becoming a doctor, because they take years worth of education or experience. I get that. I think that there are a few dangers with setting goals out this far in the future, though. To illustrate the problem I have with making very specific long-term plans, I want to share a personal experience from my own life. I went into college with a very specific goal in mind: to make music for a living. I saw getting a degree in commercial music as the first step to this goal, so I started down that track. The university I went to required all potential commercial music majors to first apply for the School of Music, and once they were accepted into that, they could apply for commercial music. The School of Music at my school was extremely rigorous and competitive. In order to be accepted, I was expected to audition on a classical or jazz instrument, and upon acceptance, complete 2 years of private instruction on that instrument, which would require at least 2 hours of dedicated practice per day. I only really played the trumpet very well, but I didn't feel like the trumpet was going to be a lot of help as a pop musician, so I picked up guitar. I only knew a very little guitar, and what's more, the School of Music at my university only recognized classical and jazz guitar. No rock, no pop. This seemed like kind of a bummer, but I had a goal, so I got started. My guitar teacher informed me in no uncertain terms that I could not possibly compete in jazz guitar given my lack of experience. So I bought a classical guitar and started learning classical music. My heart was only half in it though, and I wasn't progressing very quickly. I remember my guitar teacher repeatedly telling me that he felt like I was kind of pigeonholing myself into this classical guitar program. But I wanted to write music, and I felt like this was the way to do it, so I kept trudging on. Finally, the day of my audition came. My soon-to-be fiancée drove 2 hours to come sit with me before the audition. With her there to support me, and propelled forward by all my hopes and dreams for the future, I strode into that audition room and proceeded to slaughter my piece. There was just no way. I hadn't practiced enough. I wasn't confident. I didn't really even like the music all that much. I walked out of that room knowing that I hadn't done very well, and so it came as a big disappointment, but maybe not a big surprise, when I received my results back. I had not made it into the School of Music. I would have to wait a whole year before I could try again. Long story short, I didn't try again. I realized upon reflection that my guitar teacher was probably right. I was pigeonholing myself. I got married, and I eventually dropped out of school and started working. A couple years later, I picked up the Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff. I became super interested in Taoism almost right away. I'd been playing around with the idea of making a YouTube channel for a while already, and I figured, hey, why not make a channel where I share what I'm learning about Taoism? It took me a while to start uploading regularly, but fast forward a couple years, I'm here making videos consistently, and I love doing it. Now, this story would be so much more convenient if I was now a huge channel making tons of money, but as of now that isn't really the case. I'm currently sitting a little under 2,000 subscribers, and I have yet to collect a check from YouTube. Only time will tell if that will change, but here's what I can say for now. I feel very good about the path that I'm on. It feels right, at least for now, and I'm pretty at peace with it. I certainly do have moments where I worry, but overall, I do have the feeling like I'm following the path I'm supposed to be on. I got to that point not by having some huge ambitious goal, but largely just from having an interest and seeing an opportunity to pursue that interest. If we stay rigidly fixed onto a plan for where we want to end up 10 years down the road, we might miss out on the opportunities that are presenting themselves to us right now. Not only that, but we often lose the joy of the journey. We look to that event years away and say, then I'll be happy. If we're not careful though, we miss out on all the opportunities to be happy now. When we plan our life 10 years out, we're making plans for a person that doesn't even exist yet. Who knows if we'll even still want that thing when we get it? Surely we will change as a person at least a little bit between now and then, especially if we're in our teens or 20s. I'm not saying that we shouldn't make and work towards goals, but I do propose that we keep our goals at least somewhat open-ended. Maybe you will become a doctor, and if so, that's great. But having that goal shouldn't stop you from seeing the changing circumstances and opportunities that present themselves to you as you make your way toward that goal. If we can hold on loosely to our dreams and ambitions, we will be more able to follow our intuitions in finding the path that will ultimately make us the most happy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later for more of our regularly scheduled programming. Peace and blessings.